Ha! Hello everyone, I am Jonathan, also known as the Medieval Genie, or apparently these days, according to some viewers, Aldi Metatron. Ugh. But that aside, apologies I haven't uploaded anything in a while. I don't really have any excuse. Project Zomboid happened, so I've just gone back on that and have been having too much fun and got lost for time. But that aside, I will talk about an axe here later in the video because of a viewer's request, Genie and wishes and all that. But firstly, I'll probably talk about this. So you'll notice, and of course I'm going to be a bit of a braggart about it, but cut me some slack. First medal that I've had in around 11 years of doing historical European martial arts. Interesting timing there. But basically, I won this as the bronze medal in Fight Camp's Open Tournament. So the Open Tournament, to those of you who don't know, is unlike your standard tournaments where you usually have pools and set opponents and finalists and all this type of thing. You basically can go up against anyone who's part of the tournament. You have a certain number of people available. I think there are about 60 or so people, 60 to 70 people who actually were participating. Each person can fight each other person only once. So if you had, let's say, me against a guy called Ben, then me and Ben can only fight each other once. But of course you can get lots of fights in and earn lots of points potentially by just going with lots of different fighters, but you can't kind of game the system by picking on someone you think is weak and then, you know, squeeze them like a lemon for that extra juicy stuff. You've got to mix it up with opponents who will, in many cases, be similar skill to you or better than you. So I did 30 matches, interesting sort of round number, and 15 I won, 15 I lost, exactly half. Interesting fights, a lot of longsword, a lot of military sabre, but a couple of unusual things as well. Most curious one, speaking about axes, I did have an axe fight in the Open Tournament, bearing in mind it's pretty much any suitable weapon style. Some people did dagger and things like that as well. And that was good fun. Me and the guys up against weren't knowing any specific techniques, as far as I could tell, for axe. So at least on my part, I was improvising kind of like Fiore arming sword, but using a choppy axe. And the best exchange I had was probably, I was in either would have been a guarded lady or a sort of a hanging defence or something like that, trying to get ready to close in. But the guy attempted a sort of, you might call it an overhaul or fendente or cut one, whatever your system, I don't care, but a sort of a simple diagonal down cut. I was attempting a cut at my left hip, and then I performed a slip of the leg, so I got done a passing step backwards to pull that hip out of the way, and then managed to bear down on him. Being a short fighter, I don't think I made it as far as the head. I might have made it as far as kind of the shoulder, but still that kind of slip of the leg, bear down. He swings at the wind, I swing at a juicy target, as always. Especially since I have a penchant for cutting people's hands and arms a lot, the hand carver himself. But yeah, it was certainly a good bit of fun. You get 1 point for if you lose and 3 points if you win, so that encourages more kind of participation in matches and things. But the people who got second and first place, of course, were people who pushed those points further with winning more of those matches. I got that dogged determination and the aggregate sort of number of matches in, but of course with the others there were people like second place was like, I think it was Ben Hamilton, I think it was, a Scotsman who's extremely good, very talented with a Highland broadsword. So he won every single match, and the first place went to a guy called Mark Gilbert, very talented fighter, and very strategic fighter as well, and he did a lot of fights. He didn't win all of them, but he won nearly all of them, and across a far greater number of matches, more than any of us. So well done to them, they deserved it. But it felt good that I was finally able to get that medal, apart from it's been 11 years of doing HEMA and finally got my first actual medal. But apart from that, the last time I did the Open tournament, I had to sit out for the final day because I was injured in the head. I took a few hard swings and I was sort of feeling a bit in pain and queasy, and I thought, any more of this and I'll probably get a concussion, so I just sat out rather than continued like an idiot. But that meant that with points I dropped down to about 9th place, whereas I reckon I could have gone for maybe 6th, 5th place. Not quite as good as this year, because I'm winning more, I was winning more rather than just purely going for aggregate numbers of matches. But that was good fun. And at the end of the event, I managed to get some Scotch eggs from Matt Easton. He was going to throw them away. And I said, you can't waste food around me, Mr. Easton. It's peculiar, the sorts of encounters I've had with the sort of celebrity YouTubers. I know some of you seem to fantasize about them and forget that they're actual humans. But yes, there's that time when I've got some Scotch eggs from Matt Easton, took them home and had them. By the way, thank you, Matt. I did not suffer food poisoning. They were fine. They were tasty of ketchup. There was another time with Matt Easton where I was picking chrome plating that some collector had put on some antique sabres. There was a time when I physically, well, pretty much physically or by hand, dragged Nicholas Lloyd, aka Lindybeige, over to this drunk guy in the sort of the main area. I was one of the only sober people in the area at that point. And he was asking, the guy, oh mate, when's In Search of Hannibal coming out? Because I don't know why I gave him a northerner voice. He's not a northerner, but yeah, he was wondering about that because both of us have paid for that graphic novel, and where is it? But apart from that, I also punched Lindybeige. Well, hey, clickbait title, but the reality is it wasn't in anger. We were doing, pugilism class, so that's why. We were exchanging fists. We didn't, as humorous as I know it weirdly, people seem to have extreme opinions about him. It's like there are some people who almost worship the ground he walks on, greatest storyteller ever. And then there are some people who would like to punch him in the face in earnest. I am more neutral. I am less fanatical about it. It's a person, we're humans. Other such obvious things that sound philosophical on the surface but are actually statements of the obvious, blah blah blah. You get the idea. So, moving on. There will be a video probably about this axe at some point soon. One of my viewers requested that I wanted me to make another bigger sort of Dane axe. I know this isn't a proper full-sized length of haft, but I think the axe head, I'm sure you will agree, is a reasonable size for this type of thing. But yes, I made this out of a piece of rebar and a bit of pallet wood, and yeah, I've used it you have seen it, well, if you watch all of the channel videos, the Swords and Cider test cutting compilation, the two-handed axe user there, it's this. It could have been sharper, admittedly, at the time. I'll probably sharpen it later. But yes, so to the viewer who was asking about, can I make a bigger axe? Wish granted. That's been done. I will do a video, reviewing this and talking about the process of making it, and also, show how good it is as a sort of a functional weapon. I will say this, I used to like swinging around my room a felling axe. I hated how heavy it was 4 pounds, and it was kind of uncomfortable and a bit of a workout rather than fun, whereas this is just a lovely weapon. And I feel like in terms of physical injury, it would do much the same damage, but yet without being so tiring and slow. This is a really handy weapon. Wouldn't use it to cut a tree down though. And apart from that, one of my viewers has also requested that I do a video on crossbows, so you can expect to see that at some point when I actually get organised. I don't really have any excuse for, going for over a month without uploading anything. Project Zomboid have been having too much fun after recent updates, and just general distractions. And I might do a video, I've got plenty of pictures and some video footage of Norway, because I did physically go there on a cruise, which was actually before I went to fight camp, so that would have been July, I think. Yes, I think so. But yeah, that was good fun. Nice area. Good stuff to talk about. But I've been a bit hesitant because I didn't really see much to do with kind of history and Vikings and all that kind of stuff. It would be more about kind of the place's geography or modern day Norway, which I didn't know if people would just flee from my channel when I do that, because I've tried off the usual topic videos before, and I've seen some situations where people actively run away from the channel, unsubscribe, and head out of the door. So kind of a bit cautious about that these days. But yeah, it's all been good fun. I'll certainly try to produce some entertaining video topics out of it. This is just a talk video and wanted to discuss the medals and things like that. I can probably talk about the tactical side maybe. Who knows? But yes, so upcoming video about this axe. Upcoming video about crossbows, because there was someone who wanted me to talk about the sort of mechanical action using a crossbow and, you know, the fun of having one and just, you know, using it in battle. And I thought I could cover those sorts of things, and that's it. Oh, and if you've actually made it this far through all my rambling nonsense as Aldi Metatron in his parents' house, then you can comment the number 57 in your comments, and then I'll know, you know, either just straight up or in the middle of a normal comment. I will know that you watched the whole way through, and you can have a little clap. Clap, clap, clap. Oh, no, an axe clap. That's what an axe clap sounds like now. So that's that. Have fun. I shall see you later, hopefully.